Good day, amazing students. Welcome to the online tutorial for Introduction to Philosophy. Here we'll be looking at the meaning of philosophy, the terms under it, and then the branches of philosophy, of course, and some scholars' view on it. Okay, so philosophy was gotten from two Greek words, phileo and sophia. Phileo meaning love and Sophia meaning wisdom. So gently, philosophy mean the love of wisdom, and philosophy has to do with seeking for the truth, irrational inquiry into the ideas that we live by is an act of asking questions and then looking for answers about the world, man, and then the society. So there is no particular definite definition for philosophy, but there are various scholars with various opinion about what philosophy is. But basically, has to do with a rational inquiry into the idea that we live by. Let's use that definition. Okay, so philosophy to Socrates is wisdom itself. Socrates sees knowledge as a virtue on his own, and a man should seek for knowledge. Now, to Plato, philosophy is contemplation, that is, asking questions, seeking for the truth. So, that is philosophy to Plato. So, Karl Marx, philosophy uh, shouldn't be about theory alone, but about practical. That is, philosophy shouldn't be about looking for answers, asking questions, but being able to practicalize it. So there are various views on philosophy. There is the linguistic approach, which is the has to do with the analysis of various concepts, and that is that on the brief introduction of what philosophy actually is. Okay, so uh, we have various branches of in philosophy. We have metaphysics, we have logic, we have archaeology, we have epistemology, and others. Okay, so now metaphysics has to do with asking question about what actually exists, what actually is real, what actually is the uh, basic concept of reality. Metaphysics uh, deals with both the physical and the spiritual aspect of things, of what we claim to be. Okay, so in metaphysics, we look at the cosmology aspects and then the ontology aspect. The cosmology aspect has to do with what actually exists in the world, and in the ontology aspect, we are talking about being, that is being. Okay, and there are two major school of thought under metaphysics. We have the materialism, and in materialism they believe that it is matter that exists, that it is material things that actually exist. It is what we can see, what we can hold, feel, touch that actually exists. And the major scholars under this school is Aristotle and so on. Now, the other school of thought is the idealism school of thought, and this one holds that there are things that exist beyond the things that we can actually see. And in this school, they believe that the mind exists independently of the human body. So this is the view of the idealist. And major philosophers in this school are people like Plato, Descartes, and so on. So basically, there are two school of thought under metaphysics, that is materialism, which has to do with matter, and idealism, which has to which major that there are things that exist that we do not see, but what we see are a reflection of those things that we do not see. Okay, so we also mentioned epistemology as a branch of philosophy. Epistemology has to do with the understanding of knowledge. How do we get to know knowledge? What is knowledge, and so on? So epistemology is a branch of philosophy that has to do with the source of knowledge. Okay, so now we have three major schools under epistemology. We have rationalism, we have empiricism, and then skepticism. So the rationalists, they believe that the source of knowledge is through reason, that is through uh, reason, through our mind. The empiricists believe that knowledge can only be acquired through our sense perception. That is what we see, what we feel, what we touch. That is how we can know things. And then we have the skeptics who believe that we cannot know. Let's just say they doubt knowledge, they doubt the source of knowledge and ask questions about various sources of knowledge. Okay, so we have under skeptics, we have the moderate and the hard skeptics. The moderate skeptics believe that okay, you can know something about yourself, but you can't know something about others. But the hard skeptics hold that you can't know anything at all. They doubt knowledge even to about themselves. Okay, so we mentioned astrology, and there are two schools under astrology. We have aesthetics and ethics. Aesthetics has to do with is the philosophy of beauty, has to do with beauty, taste, and so on. Now, is the moral philosophy that has to do with the concept of what is right and wrong, concept of standard principles, and so on. Okay, so and also we have logic, which has to do with critical reasoning, which has to do with various concepts that has to do with valid inference, inductive logic, inductive and deductive inference, and so on. Okay, so those are the major schools under philosophy, or say branches of philosophy. Okay, so there is another major term called determinism, and this has to do with the idea that situations, events, actions are caused by another previous actions. That is, everything that happens are caused. Is the theory of causation. So, in determinism, they said, for example, if you're feeling cold, maybe cold is caused by the weather. If one steals, that person was pushed to steal because he does not have money. So, they believe that humans or things that happen are fixed to happen. Okay, so there's the hard determinism and the soft determinism. The hard determinism stand on the ground out everything that happens are caused, are fixed, and then there's nothing we can actually do about them. Well, the soft determinism, also known as free will, holds that although things are caused, but we do have a choice to either make a decision to do something right or to do something wrong. Okay, so these people believe that we have the free will to either act on in various situations that we find ourselves in. Okay, so that is that on the brief look into determinism. Okay, so in the next video, we'll be looking at Rene Descartes' first meditation, and then we'll conclude with the a priori and the a posteriori. Thank you so much for listening to. God bless you.